Good evening, high school football fans. This is High School Football America for December the 3rd, 2015. I'm Jeff Fisher, host of the show and founder and editor-in-chief of High School Football America and highschoolfootballamerica.com. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving holiday as we took a week off there, and now we come down the home stretch. Wow, what a bunch of games that are going to come your way over the next 3 weeks as we start handing out the final championship trophies across America. A lot of them have been handed out so far. Go to highschoolfootballamerica.com. We have a state-by-state list of everybody that's won some gold medals this year, and congratulations to all that have won, all that have been the runners-up as a result of the championship games, and of course all of those that competed throughout the 2015 high school football season. And believe it or not, here at the top of the show tonight, we're going to talk 2016 already, as we here at High School Football America are very excited about an announcement that we made earlier today. As you know, if you've been listening to the show for the past 4.5 years or so, we have a great relationship with Mark Soto, who is the founder of the Honor Bowl, a great event here in Southern California. It started in Northern California, but it's now played in Southern California. A great event that really educates student athletes, coaches, the programs, and the communities about our military veterans. Last year I had a chance to go on to Camp Pendleton down here near Oceanside, where the game has been played, and joined the teams as they went on to the Marine base and really got a first-hand look at what our men and women that serve this country and keep our freedom safe do, and we're just happy to partner up in a bigger way this year. We've always been here for Mark to put him on the radio show and promote the events and the games, but we've gone a little bit deeper as I've watched the event grow. I said to Mark, I think there's some ways that High School Football America can help you out. We can kind of leverage the great relationships we have in this country. We not bragging, but we have great relationships with the coaches and the programs because of the way we operate things here at High School Football America. And Mark said, yeah, that would be great. And I've reached out to multiple teams, but today we get to announce the first matchup that we put together. And boy, is it going to be a dandy. Florida versus Southern California. And tonight on the show, we're going to talk a lot about Corona Centennial and its showdown with St. John Bosco. Corona Centennial number 3 in the country right now, Bosco number 2. But right here at the top, we're pleased to announce that the Huskies and Matt Logan, who's one of the class acts in high school football here in Southern California, has agreed, along with Kevin Wright, the head coach at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, to play in the 2016 Honor Bowl. And man, what a matchup that is going to be. Both teams will be in there and have a shot at being in the top 25 next year. They're still in that hunt for that mythical national championship this year, and this is going to be a great way to kick off the 2016 season, and what's more important, it's for a great cause. We've also reached out to several other big national programs who have expressed interest in coming out here. The event up until this point has really been pretty much Southern Cal versus Southern Cal, although over the last 2 years, Bellevue, which was nationally ranked when they came down a couple of years ago to play Gardena Serra, has been down this way, and then this past year, Eastside Catholic, which is number 26 in the High School Football America top 50 right now, came down here and played and defeated Oceanside. So we think that we can get this event up to the level it needs to be. The great thing about the Honor Group is it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. They raise funds, get wheelchairs for disabled veterans. This definitely will be a marquee matchup on the 2016 schedule, and the great thing about it is not only is it a great matchup, but it's also for a great cause. We will be putting together here at High School Football America what we hope to be a national television package that will allow the country to see this great game, and we're going to produce that show much different than the ones you normally see out there, as we're going to tell the story of the great game of high school football, the great communities, the great schools, and obviously the great cause that is the Honor Group's Honor Bowl. So very excited to be a part of it. Check it out. More details for you at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Well, we mentioned that Corona Centennial is going to be on the show tonight, as will St. John Bosco, as the big matchup in the country this week is in Southern California. I was going to call it the Big A. It's Angels Stadium, but it's where the Los Angeles Angels, or if you're old like me, the California Angels or the Anaheim Angels play football. It's for the Southern section of the CIF, the championship there. It's called the Pac-5 division. It is right up there as one of the best in the country, up there with the good ones like the Big North United in New Jersey, like the great conferences around the country. So going to be a fun one to be out there. I'll be covering it for USA Today High School Sports as well as High School Football America. And we thought, what better way to celebrate this game than giving you a great inside look with the two leaders of the offenses. And these two offenses can put up points like nobody's business. Bosco and Centennial both know how to score a lot of points. They've both played with a lot of running clocks because of blowouts this year. This game could end up, somewhere in the 50s. Last year, Corona Centennial beat the Braves by a score of 48-41 in the championship game. And tonight, we're going to talk with the two quarterbacks of the respective programs. Two guys that not heavily recruited, but oh my gosh, someone should be looking at them. Quentin Davis of St. John Bosco and Anthony Catalano of Corona Centennial will join us in just a little bit here to talk about the game, the atmosphere on campus and in practice this week. And to break it down even a little bit further for you, we're going to talk with Chuck Petersen, the head coach at Orange Lutheran here in Southern California in the very tough Trinity League. Chuck is had the unenviable task this year of playing both teams. And, oh, by the way, he had to play Corona Centennial twice, once in the regular season and once in the playoffs. The game against Bosco was in the Trinity League, a league game there. But Chuck knows a thing or two about these two teams, and he's going to join us and break down things for us as we head into what I believe is the marquee matchup of the year. And then what gets great is the winner of that will go into the state championship game in the Bowl Championship Series here in California, in Northern California this year against the Northern California champ, which should be De La Salle, number 8 in the country. So someone's going to have a lot of good football being played over the next couple of weeks, and we will preview that game for you here tonight on High School Football America. And talking about Davis and Catalano being under the radar. Another guy under the radar but playing for a championship is Brock Johnson of Mission Viejo. Brock last week threw 7 touchdown passes to break Mark Sanchez's record, single-game record of 6 touchdown passes. Of course, Sanchez, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles right now, and Brock Johnson, who's getting lots of looks from the schools in the East, the Ivy League schools. Brock's a great student, like Harvard and those sort of schools in the Ivy League and Patriot League. He's going to join us to talk about that. I think this is another kid that can do some big things at the next level. He just has to get the chance, just like the other two. We're going to talk to Anthony about possibly getting into the academies, the way he plays. A little bit undersized, but he's perfect for the academies, and Chuck Petersen thinks so. So we're going to talk to him about that. And Quentin Davis has gotten an offer from Fresno, and I really think that he's another guy that needs to get picked up. I mean, sat behind Josh Rosen for 3 years, and look at what he's done coming out here as a senior, leading them back to the Pac-5 championship game in Southern California. So 4 big guests on the show tonight, and it's all made possible by our partners, beginning with USA Today. Check out the Super 25 at USA Today High School Sports at usatodayhss.com. Also brought to you tonight by the good folks at ScoreStream. Get all the scores throughout the weekend on our website, powered by ScoreStream. They've got a great app, and you can have some fun when you're at the game. You can score along, take some pictures, do all kinds of cool stuff. You can get the app by going to the iTunes Store or Google Play, or you can go to their website and learn more at scorestream.com. Also brought to you tonight by Southern Sports TDI Razor, the debris inhibitor razor, keeping those pesky rubber pellets from field turf out of your shoes and giving you the great look of spatting without the high cost of tape. 23 great colors. Use the code HSFA to get a discount on your order when you go to TDIRazor.com. That's razor with a U, R-A-Z-U-R. TDIRazor.com. Also brought to you tonight by the good folks at Echo 1612 and Crossover. We'll start with Echo 1612. Get instant replay on your sidelines. Get that competitive edge that you need. And this is just Great technology created by coaches for coaches. Everybody's trying to follow them, but these guys have it down pat. No cellular connection, no Wi-Fi needed, no data plan. It's all there for you in one nice, neat package. Use your cameras up top or in the end zone, and boy, you will have a competitive edge. You'll get rid of that grease board, that chalkboard, whatever you're using. It's show and tell, baby. Show and tell when you use Echo 1612, as you will be able to teach your players exactly what they did right and wrong 8 seconds after the play is completed. Go to echo1612.com. And the good folks at Crossover, I talked to Ken Huffman there, head of the football operation, earlier this week, and Crossover getting some new stuff ready for the 2016 season. I'll be joining them at the AFCA, the conference down there in San Antonio, coming up in early January, and you need to go to Crossover. Go to them through our website, our banner ad there, and you'll get a free 5-minute demo. Sign up for it, and they will break down your game film for you. Yeah, tag it. Give all that time you spend sitting there in the office without the family around, well, you can go spend it with the family and let Crossover do the work for you. It's Crossover with a K, crossover.com/football for your free 5-minute demo. All right, big show for you tonight. We are going to have lots of talk coming up here in just a few minutes with the two quarterbacks at Bosco and Corona Centennial, and we're going to break the game down with one of the coaches, Chuck Petersen at Olu, who has played both teams this year. He'll give you a great inside look at what this game is going to come down to on Saturday night at Angel Stadium here in Southern California in Anaheim. Taking a break. Get a couple of words in here from our partners, and when we come back, we're going to talk with Quentin Davis, the quarterback of St. John Bosco. Sat on the bench for a lot of years, and boy, did he learn from UCLA's freshman quarterback Josh Rosen, as Davis has taken his team to its third straight CIF-Southern Section Pac-5 Final. Quentin Davis and then Anthony Catalano, that and more. You're listening to High School Football America on the Artist First Radio Network. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously. You'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass-playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The debris inhibitor razor comes in 23 colors and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra Bigfoot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the debris inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossover with a K.com/football. USA Today High School Sports is America's leading platform for high school football. The Super 25 team rankings and expert American Family Insurance All-USA list have been determining the best of the best nationally and locally for more than 3 decades. Be sure to check out usatodayhss.com, the best in the game for everything high school football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by USA Today High School Sports. Check out the Super 25 every Monday at noon Eastern Time by going to usatodayhss.com. Well, as we said at the top of the show, going to spend a lot of time tonight breaking down what is not only the best game in Southern California or the state of California, but in the nation this week as number 2 St. John Bosco in the High School Football America Top 25 takes on number 3 Corona Centennial. And we're going to do it by talking to the leaders of both of the offenses, Quentin Davis from St. John Bosco, and a little bit later, Anthony Catalano. Right now, Quentin Davis is on the line, and give you a couple of stats here on what a great year he's had. He's completed over 68% of his passes, 211 of 308, 3,661 yards, 39 TDs, only 2 picks, and he's rushed for nearly 500 yards as well and 7 touchdowns. And Quentin's on the line right now to talk about what's been a fabulous year and a huge game coming up. Welcome to the show, Quentin.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
We're glad to have you here, and there's so many things we could talk about here, but I guess the biggest thing as we get ready to dive into this is what a week it is. I mean, literally, this is a game that everybody's been pointing to maybe since the end of last season. I don't know, when you guys lost to them in the championship game, but what's the atmosphere like on campus, on the practice field? Can you tell us a little bit what it's like?
Yeah, definitely. It's super exciting. It's such a great experience to be in the CIF championship for the 3rd year in a row and really, have a good team around you that got to this point again. And it's just really cool to be able to experience it for myself.
And you've had such an incredible run, and I talked to Coach Negro about it at the beginning of the year. Obviously, you sat behind very patiently, Josh Rosen for 3 years, who now is at UCLA, and here you are playing in a championship game like he was. What were some of the things that maybe you were able to take out of sitting behind Josh that helps you going into a championship game?
Yeah, it's actually really cool, being able to sit behind a guy like Josh Rosen, who is obviously a number 1 ranked quarterback in the country. He was not only, just a highly ranked quarterback, but he was a good friend of mine. So I learned a lot of things on and off the field from him, whether it came from leadership or, how to work in the weight room, how to do certain things with my techniques and stuff like that. So, I would watch Josh play week in and week out, and I would pick the things that I wanted to learn from him and then I'll pick the things that, maybe he did wrong that I wouldn't do for the next year.
Talking with Quentin Davis tonight on High School Football America, brought to you by USA Today High School Sports. Big game coming up Saturday night at Angels Stadium. Yes, the home of the Los Angeles Angels, as St. John Bosco taking on Corona Centennial. The winner will go into the State Bowl Championship game, probably against De La Salle, but no need to look beyond that one. Quentin, at the beginning of the year when I spoke to Coach Negro during spring ball and all that, obviously there was a competition there. You as the senior behind in front of a couple of sophomores were competing for the spot. You get the nod, game one, you go out there. At what point did it kind of settle into your brain that, hey, you know what? All that waiting, all that practice is paying off, and I'm in the right spot, and I'm the guy to lead this team. Was there any moment like that, like an aha moment?
After the first game, when we beat La Mirada, I had a really good sigh of relief, just kind of saying, I appreciate being able to stay here, and I was happy that I stayed here and made the right decision.
And let's talk, I gave the numbers at the top there. Those are some impressive numbers, and what's even more impressive is you haven't played really a lot of full games because of the running clock and some blowouts against opponents. You sat early. When you hear those numbers, 3,600 yards passing, 39 touchdowns, 2 picks, all that stuff, what comes to your mind? And is there one stat that you hear in there that makes you pretty proud?
We have a great team around me. We have great coaching staff, so we prepare really hard. Coach Johnson, our offensive coordinator, we watch hours on the film. We prepare throughout the whole week really hard, and then we have athletes all around me: Devin Fleming, Jared Harrell, Christian Gobert, Berkeley Holman, Anselm Ume, Sean McGrew. All guys that can make plays. So spreading the ball out is really easy, and then numbers come with that.
Yeah, absolutely, and let's not leave out those big guys up front, and I do beat them big. I don't know what the average is now this deep into the season, but I know when I talked to your center there, Matt Smith, I think you guys were averaging over 300 at the start of camp. Tell me about those horses and what a job they've done for not only you, but the running backs, the receivers this year.
Yeah, we have 6 or 7 offensive linemen who are all great players. They're good kids. I love them to death. Those guys are literally 5 of my best friends, 6 of my best friends. I took them out to dinner before the season started. But at the same time, they have Coach Adams, who's a great coach. They prepare week in and week out, of how the defense is going to go, and then, it works out well.
Quentin Davis, the quarterback of St. John Bosco, on the line with us here on High School Football America tonight. I remember talking to you after the Santa Margarita game, and I asked you, you were just smiling. I remember every time you came off the field, the high fives, the celebration, the really kind of bringing the teammates together. Since that was a couple of weeks ago now, I guess, or more than a month ago. Tell the listeners here, a national audience. I mean, you just look like you're having fun playing football. Is that the case?
Yeah, I love playing football, so when I'm out on the field, I'm having a good time. I play to have fun. I played it for the enjoyment of the game, and that's just the way our team works. We're a family. We're all brothers, so when we're playing out there, it's just fun for us. We always have a good time out there.
Now let's talk about Saturday night's game. You said what the atmosphere is like and all that, and obviously we're not going to have you give away game plans here, but there's certain things you guys are going to have to do right on the offensive side of the ball. I've seen Centennial twice this year, very quick. I'm sure you've watched plenty of film. What are some of the things that you think Centennial does well that you guys are going to have to make sure you execute your game on?
I think they have a really good coaching staff, just like we do. I think they have great players all across the board. They have good athletes. Obviously, they have a lot of Division I recruits, but I really don't think we should do anything different. We're gonna have our same game plans. We're gonna prepare just as hard as we usually do. We're not gonna try to get out of our zone, out of our normalities of what we usually do. So we're gonna do the same thing we always do and come out and just try to execute as well as we can.
You, as you mentioned, 3 straight years in the championship game. You've got that undefeated streak in the Trinity League, which is darn near impossible to even comprehend how many games you've won there in a row. But as I said, last year they got you 48-41 in the championship game. Certainly you were not the quarterback then, but you've got a lot of teammates that played in that ball game. How much of what happened last year is being used as motivation, just to say, hey guys, we're not walking off the field with the same feeling this time around?
Yeah, definitely. We had a lot of players returning from that game, and a lot of people have really strong emotions about this game. So it's going to be a big one for us. We really want this one because we want another ring. We want to go play De La Salle and State, and it's just something that we want to have, to have under our belt.
Quentin Davis on the line tonight, quarterback at St. John Bosco, has had just an incredible year leading this team along there. Like he said, it's not just him, it's his teammates. And, one of the things I was wondering about is your defense is so good, and you have to face them preparing for opponents. How much does a great defense like you guys have help you offensively in the week preparing for whether it's this game or next week's game or all the games to this point?
Well, I think it's a huge reason why we're so successful. Our defense gives us such a great scout team look, and, we're really able to prepare and get a good look at what the opponent's going to give us. And then at the same time, I feel like our scout team offense gives our defense a good look, so that's why our defense is playing so well. Both sides of the ball, we really push each other throughout the week of practice and try to compete the whole time, and that's why we execute so well on Friday nights.
Well, Quentin, it's been fun watching this year. I'm going to enjoy watching the game on Saturday night. Thank you for joining us, taking time out of your busy schedule, and look forward to seeing what happens Saturday night. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
You're very welcome. Taking a break, coming back with more. You're listening to High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass-playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors, and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossover with a K.com/football. USA Today High School Sports is America's leading platform for high school football. The Super 25 team rankings and expert American Family Insurance All-USA list have been determining the best of the best nationally and locally for more than 3 decades. Be sure to check out usatodayhss.com, the best in the game, for everything high school football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by USA Today High School Sports. Check out the Super 25 every Monday at noontime at usatodayhss.com. Well, if you're just joining us, we're breaking down the big game, the biggest game in the country this week and maybe this year as Corona Centennial gets ready to bang heads with St. John Bosco in the championship game of the CIF-Southern section, the Pac-5, one of the toughest in the country. And we just spoke with Quentin Davis, the quarterback at St. John Bosco, and as promised, on the line right now, we have the opposing quarterback, Anthony Catalano, who has had just an incredible year, just like Quentin has. We'll give you some stats here before we get him on the line. Completed over 65% of his passes, 2,600 yards. He's thrown 29 scores, only 4 picks. He's also run for 846 yards and 11 scores. He's the guy that makes the offense tick. He's got a lot of offensive weapons, and he's on the line right now to talk about the Huskies with us. Welcome to the show, Anthony.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. And let's, just kind of start with a couple of easy questions, which is, obviously it's a huge game. I don't have to hype it any more than it's already, but there's got to be some energy there, I would think, on campus and at practice. Tell us a little bit about what the atmosphere is like there at Centennial this week.
I mean, we're definitely excited. We've been hearing about this game for a long time, and we're trying to take it one game at a time, but now it's finally here, the game we had circled on our schedule, and we're just glad to be back in the championship game trying to defend our title. Yeah,
and it's kind of funny. I said the same thing to Quentin. It's like us people in the media. We've been circling this game, I think, since fall camps opened up and all that. How much pressure did you guys face to make sure that you could get to this game that we all thought was a foregone conclusion?
I mean, when we started off our season, we had 3 goals, and that's to win our league, win CIF, and win state. And, I mean, we won our league. We went undefeated throughout the whole season, and now we're on to our second goal, trying to win a CIF title. So it's what we expected and where we expected to be at, but we definitely knew it was going to take a lot of hard work to get to this point.
Let's, dive into a little bit of the season at this point. A big thing for you this year is you didn't have to split the quarterbacking duties, which you did last year. Tell me a little bit about your approach in fall camp and how you've, maneuvered yourself into the position where you are, which is to play for this, championship again on Saturday night.
I mean, when it came to last year, I was in there half the time, so I didn't get to have a full grasp of like what the defense was doing. I got to see half of what they were showing us, and sometimes they played different stuff due to me rotating in there. But this year, I just have a full control. I feel like I have more leadership, and that my guys can trust me, and I can trust them at all times because we're all out there together now. So it's definitely brought a lot of confidence to me. I've grown a lot mentally in the game, and I'm just glad I can be the leader for my team.
Anthony Catalano on the line tonight on High School Football America, brought to you by USA Today High School Sports Super 25. We're talking about the big showdown with St. John Bosco on Saturday night at Angel Stadium, and obviously what that atmosphere is like. It's different. You're playing in a Major League Baseball stadium, one of the top games in the country. How much time do you spend this week telling yourself, whether it's just before you go to bed or at practice, to make sure you keep yourself calm and focused within and stay within yourself?
I mean, I've played in a lot of big games. I'm not trying to be overconfident or cocky about it, but I mean, I've been in these kind of situations. I've played at Angel Stadium. I've been down a touchdown trying to get the lead back in Angel Stadium, or whether it's playing De La Salle in the state championship. So I have the confidence, and I just got to show my teammates to stay poised and that we can do it, and we don't need to see the bright lights and get shocked like we've been there before. So it's definitely something that we've been trying to get to our young guys who haven't experienced this. But we have a lot of returning starters who got to play in this game last year, so we definitely have that knowledge of what's to be expected.
Yeah, and you're right. It's just a fact. It's not being cocky when you say that. Anthony Catalano on the line, the quarterback of Corona Centennial, nationally ranked in all the polls, ranked very, very high. We've got a number 3 in our algorithm, and we're thinking that this game is going to be a shootout. And I guess let's talk about some of the skill players. Certainly you've put up great numbers, but you've got whether it's JJ or Javon. Tell me what it's like to play in an offense and be the trigger man for an offense. You have so many weapons to choose from. What's that like?
I mean, it's awesome. It's really it's truly fun to play in. You're supposed to have fun playing football, but I think it just makes it 10 times better when you're playing in my offense with Coach Logan. I mean, I have a great running back in J.J. Taylor, so we want to run the football and just see the amazing things he does. My offensive line does a great job. But everyone talks about Javon McKinley because he's a top recruited receiver in the nation. That's the respect that he deserves. But I have 3 other great receivers, Cameron Jackson, Samante Bonner, and Troy Spencer, that have been doing a great job. And I mean, last year, we were kind of a two receiver offense. We only really threw the ball to Javon and Grayson Bankhead, who's at Cal now. But this year we have a 4 receiver attack where we can get the ball to all 4 of our receivers and they can make plays. So I mean, I'm just a point guard out there trying to distribute the ball to my playmakers, and it's really fun.
Yeah, you do a pretty darn good job of it. And you just said there it's kind of fun to watch JJ. I mean, obviously after you hand off the ball, do you get that kind of peek and go, wow, I'm watching something pretty great out here. What's it like after you hand off the ball and then just kind of, I guess you're looking at highlights of the future of what he's going to be in college.
Yeah, I mean, my job is to make the read and then carry out my fake, and I'm supposed to try to get defenders to come to me, but it's kind of difficult because you hand the ball off to JJ and you want to see what he's gonna do. Is he gonna go jump over a defender or make him fall with an ankle breaker move or something like that? So, I mean, I've known JJ since I was a little kid, and he's been making spectacular plays his whole life. So it's just it's amazing to watch.
I've been having a lot of fun watching him myself. Anthony Catalano on the line tonight, the quarterback of Corona Centennial, playing St. John Bosco this Saturday at Angel Stadium for the championship and the right to go on to the state championship game. In all likelihood, that'll be against De La Salle. And let's one of the things I was thinking about, and I said this to Quentin, I want your take on it too. I love your defense. I mean, the way you guys fly to the ball, you're not necessarily the biggest defense, but speed and all that. You get to practice against those guys, each and every day. How much does that help you as an offensive unit to play such a good defense, which just happens to be your own?
I mean, in the past years, a lot of people have given our defense some grace because they haven't been at the top of their game. But this year, they really stepped it up. I mean, we just play as a team this year. They're fast, they're physical. I mean, like you said, they're not very big, but that comes with us being a public school. We don't get kids that the private schools get. But we make it work, and it's really awesome because it's made our offense so much better. And like our offense, I think this year at this point in time, we're averaging the most points we ever had in our school history. So it's definitely because our defense can get us the ball and get us stops now. We can just do our thing. So in practice, that's what is making our offense the best.
Yeah, I've been very, very impressed defensively with you guys this year. Corona Centennial taking on St. John Bosco Saturday night here in Southern California. A couple of other questions before we let you go here, which is, you guys have, just like Bosco, you've played a lot of games where you guys have been, the game's been kind of in the bag, if you will, at halftime, which means you don't get to play a full game. But down the stretch here, like last week against Mater Dei, you kind of had to fend them off at the end. Does that help you, the fact that you guys are getting a little bit more time on the field heading into this championship game?
I think it definitely does. We haven't had a game like that all year. I mean, Olu, they played us tough, so it definitely is going to help us in the long run.
Let's just wrap up with the quick question, which is, we know how good Bosco is. We know how good you guys are. What are the things you have to do right to come out on top Saturday night?
I mean, we just have to execute. That's the main thing for us. Every time we get the ball, we have to score. That's our motto: score every possession. But I think definitely not turning the ball over and not giving them any chance to win the game. Like we can't beat ourselves. That's definitely going to be the biggest thing.
Well, Anthony, congratulations on what's been an outstanding year so far. Hopefully it continues for a couple more games for you and your teammates, and we appreciate you joining us on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Very welcome. Taking a break, coming back with more. You're listening to High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass-playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors, and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossover with a K.com/football. USA Today High School Sports is America's leading platform for high school football. The Super 25 team rankings and expert American Family Insurance All-USA list have been determining the best of the best nationally and locally for more than 3 decades. Be sure to check out usatodayhss.com, the best in the game, for everything high school football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by USA Today High School Sports. Check out the Super 25 by going to USA Today HSS.com. Well, we continue our preview of America's biggest high school football game, not only this weekend, but maybe this year, as St. John Bosco collides with Corona Centennial. Bosco number 2 in our rankings, Centennial number 3. Two great coaches, lots of talent on both sides of the ball, and we thought there was no better way to kind of sum it up than bring in Chuck Petersen, a good friend of ours here at High School Football America, the head coach at Orange Lutheran in Southern California in the Trinity League. This year he had I think we're going to say pleasure, we'll figure that in a second from Coach, but played St. John Bosco in the league and twice played Corona Centennial, once in the regular season and once in the playoffs. He knows a thing or two about both teams, and I think he can break it down for us. Welcome to the show, Chuck.
Jeff, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, and first of all, just want to thank you for what you do for certainly high school football in this country.
Well, thank you for that, and as you know, I respect what you've done at the collegiate level and now at the high school level, so mutual admiration society here. And I guess before we dive into it, I said you had the honor and the pleasure. I don't know, you played the toughest schedule in the country this year. What was it like to play those two before we kind of go and do a deep dive on it? How good are these two teams?
Well, they're outstanding. They're both teams very well coached. Certainly they're tremendous athletically, very good up front. Neither one of those teams really have a weakness that, as you look at, you could break down. But our schedule this year was certainly challenging. But in a world of high school football, I think ultimately the kids 20 years from now are going to look back and go, we had a chance to play basically the top 3 teams in the nation, one of them twice, and it's something that not a lot of people can say.
No, that's absolutely correct. And just so the listeners know what the schedule will look like, Centennial twice, as we already said, De La Salle on the road, Vista Murrieta playing for a Southern Section Championship Friday night, Modern Day, which had a great year. We have them in the top 50 in the country. Obviously, all the games in the Trinity League are good, and it's just, then you had the postseason run. You had St. Bonaventure, another good team. So you had your fair share of tough opponents out there, and we'll talk about that at the end and kind of wrap up your season. But let's kind of do a little bit of a deeper dive here. You played both teams very, very well. As a matter of fact, you had Corona Centennial in the regular season. You had them at the half. You were up, and I remember talking to Matt Logan at the end of the game, and Matt said, you know what, we needed that punch in the mouth. So tell us a little bit about your preparation for them and some of the things that Corona does very well and will need to do well against St. John Bosco.
Well, obviously we've seen them twice, so I think we can take a little bit from both games. First of all, I'd tell Matt that he needs to give me some of his money if he thought we helped him by punching him in the mouth a little bit. So when you talk to him, I'll expect a check in the mail. But seriously, the thing that impressed me as much about Centennial this year as opposed to a year ago when we played him was the marked improvement on defense that they made. A year ago, I felt like they were very, very good on offense. Their system is tremendous, but they had to outscore people. That's not the case this year. They're not only very good athletically and physically, but they have a great scheme. And so defensively, they made a great jump. Offensively, they have tremendous skill kids. Their scheme creates problems for you on defense. But when you have to make a decision, do you let J.J. Taylor beat you, Javon McKinley beat you, Anthony Catalano beat you, or, by the way, the other 3 receivers that they'll throw to just as much, you got to pick your poison. And it's very difficult to match up with him from a skill standpoint.
And we just had Anthony Catalano on the line, and I it's very rare that I go out onto a football field and feel like a big man, but when interviewing Anthony or JJ, I actually have a little height advantage there. They are not big kids at all, and let's talk about Anthony. I mean, talk about a kid that I think can play at the next level, but because of those size limitations, I guess, that all the recruiters in that take a look at, maybe not getting those looks, but you're a guy that coached at Air Force. You know the academies well. Your son's playing right now at the Naval Academy. I would think he would be a pretty good fit at that level. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt that he would. Anthony reminds me of the kids that I coached at Air Force at that position, whether it was a D. Dallas or a Blaine Morgan or a Mike Thiessen. Highly competitive, a tremendous leader, extremely tough. I think Anthony would tell you in the 2 games we played them, we probably beat him up as much as he got beat up all year. And as much credit as, and rightfully so, JJ gets and Javon get, the stir that drinks, there's the straw that stirs the drink is Anthony Catalano, and he makes them go. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. I've tried in small ways through my connections in the collegiate football world, have tried to help him in recruiting and continue to do so with Matt's blessing. But I think he'd be a tremendous player for a lot of people just because of those qualities that I mentioned. And
you and I have had the conversation. I know that Anthony has reached out to you, and I think that's one of the things that I love about you, which is, you're a high school football coach in a very competitive situation, in a very competitive league, but you're all about helping the student athlete out there, and just in general. Because you're kind of new to the high school game, as we've said before, because of your collegiate background and all that. What's it like at this level to do things like that, where you got a great coach like Matt? Obviously, you're well respected and have a great heart for the game. Tell me a little bit about the camaraderie and how that all works, and do you enjoy the collegiate or the high school level over the collegiate level now?
Oh, absolutely. I enjoy everything about it. Obviously it helps that I'm in a tremendous school environment, and the administration and the people here at Orange Lutheran have been tremendous to me. We have great kids, and I think ultimately at the end of the day, whether you're coaching in the NFL or at the high school level, if you're surrounded by great kids and great people that support you, you're crazy not to have a good time. We don't work a day in our life, but I've enjoyed getting to know the coaches here in this area, certainly the coaches in our league, and have a great amount of respect. And, sometimes what happens is you get there's a kind of a mindset that, well, he's just a high school football coach. Well, I can vouch that the guys we play against could coach at any level. And they're tremendous in scheme. They're tremendous in fundamentals. And, so I have a great amount of respect for all of them.
Talking to Chuck Petersen tonight, head coach at Orange Lutheran here in Southern California, breaking down the St. John Bosco Corona Centennial game coming up, the Pac-5 Championship, which in many respects, if De La Salle wasn't on the horizon, is the state championship here in California, which is coming up at Angel Stadium, the Big A, as I used to call it. I guess they used to call it that as well. Coach, one of the things that I've noticed about Centennial, and as you know, I'm new to the area too, and they're a run-oriented team, which a lot of people don't think that because, Anthony can throw the football. There's splits in the running game and all that. I mean, when I was watching them against you in the second game, it just really stood out in the lens as I was shooting the highlights. Can you talk a little bit about that offensive scheme and how you go against it? Because I don't know how big those gaps are, but it looks like you can run a truck through it when they break the huddle. Well, they don't go into huddle, but when they line up.
Well, you're right. I think it starts with that. Makes you defensively have to defend them differently, and because you don't see it very much, and it's a pick your poison because we've seen people play people in the gap and get washed, and now all of a sudden you've got 2 gaps you're defending. So it's really very, very difficult. Obviously, with a kid like JJ, he doesn't need a whole lot to get through, and he's a tremendous player. But Matt and his offensive guys do a tremendous job. They know their system, they know the answers, and that's the whole thing with them. It's a system. So if you do this, they know that they're going to do that, and if you do something else, they're going to do something else, and they know it, and their kids execute at a very high level.
Chuck Petersen on the line tonight, Olu's head coach, Orange Lutheran here in Southern California. Let's flip it over to Bosco, a league opponent for you. Again, you played them as tough as anyone did this year. We had Quentin Davis on the show earlier. What a story that is, sitting behind Josh Rosen for so many years, and now the main man is a senior. Let's kind of start there with Quentin, and I think at least numbers-wise and what I've seen eyeball, out on the field, they haven't missed a beat, and maybe, just maybe, if I can say this, they might be better with Quentin Davis at the quarterback position. How do you see it?
Well, I think it's crazy to say that, but numbers tell you that they haven't lost anything. And, as far as the player and Quentin, I have as much respect for the job he did this year as any kid, because when they lost Josh, obviously a 3-year starter, the talent is there because he starts as a true freshman at UCLA. The scuttlebutt was, there's no way they'll be as good because they lost Josh. Well, there's a lot of pressure on a 17-year-old kid to come in and have to keep this thing going, and he has not even blinked. Very efficient, very accurate, manages their game, and does a tremendous job. So I have a great deal of respect for Quentin and the job he's done, and certainly the coaching job they've done to put him in a position to be successful.
Breaking down St. John, Bosco, and Corona Centennial with Chuck Petersen at Orange Lutheran. Played Corona Centennial twice this year, St. John Bosco once. Nobody better in the country to be able to break down this game. And we talked about the diminutive size on Centennial's quarterback and running back. My other favorite guy that I always love talking to on that team is Sean McGrew. I mean, talk about a kid that plays 2 times bigger than his size. What does Sean give you defensively that you've got to guard against when you go into playing Bosco?
Well, he's a guy. Obviously, you have to stop the run against Bosco first, make them one-dimensional, and Sean's the guy that won't allow you to necessarily do that. You can be right schematically, and he's still going to make yards. I think they do a great job up front, but B, he is so strong and physical. Different than JJ. JJ is more elusive, make you miss guy. Sean is stronger and much faster straight line. When he gets in the open field, he's a legitimate 10-600 meter kid. He'll run away from you. So he's a threat as JJ is, but different in the way they approach things.
Mm-hmm. Let's flip it over to the defensive side. I've told a lot of people this year when they've asked me how good Bosco is, and I've made the statement. I'm on the record. I've seen 1,000 high school games in person, and I'm not talking about film, in person, and Bosco is the best team I've ever seen in 40 years of doing this. And what makes them, I think, so good is I don't know if I've seen a defense as a whole as quick as this one. Now, Centennial's quick, don't get me wrong, but I see them as one of the quickest I've ever seen. How tough is this defense to go against?
Extremely difficult. I mean, you start with 4 D1s in the secondary, which doesn't happen very often. Tremendous. It's amazing when they lost Jaleel and that crew 2 years ago. I thought, wow, okay, we finally get to play Bosco when they don't have a bunch of D1s. Well, they got them again. These guys were unbelievable. The other thing that really makes them very special this year is their depth up front on the defensive line. Literally, they're going to play 10 kids, and there's not a drop-off between 1 and 10. It's unbelievable. And so, that being said, you add the physical nature to their kids up front along with the kids in the back half, and they're pretty good. One of the best players we played against was Collier, their defensive end.
Yes.
He's a junior. He'll ride his ticket anywhere he wants to go. He's amazing.
He had a big game against you. I remember that, and talking to him after the game. Chuck Petersen on the line, talking St. John Bosco and Corona Centennial. I've been joking with everyone. It starts at 8 o'clock. 100 points later, we may get out of there somewhere around midnight, I think. And let's. And I won't even give you the pressure of asking for a prediction. I'm just going to flip into to wrap up here to talk a little bit about your season and We said at the top, Orange Lutheran played arguably, the toughest or top 2 or 3 at the most, or the least, I guess, schedules in the country there. You come out 6-6. You got into the second round of the postseason. Tell me a little bit about some of the things that really made you smile this year as you look back on the year.
Well, I think offensively we played at a pretty high level most of the year. We were really good in the run game. And we were very, very explosive and the best in the throwing game that we've been in the 4 years I've been here. We're pretty balanced in the way that I want to be balanced. Defensively, we battled, and again, as you look, the people we played, they're hanging half 100 on most people, so it's really hard to play defense against the people we played. But I thought our kids kept battling, kept getting better. Obviously we'd like to still be playing like everybody would, and but we also know that the people we got beat by were people that were pretty dang good, and we could play Bosco 10 times, and the outcome might not be much different in most of those situations. Same thing with Centennial, but when we walked out on the field, we battled, and certainly I know there's no moral victories in this, but we feel good about the way we competed.
Talking to Chuck Petersen tonight, Orange Lutheran's head coach. He just broke down St. John Bosco and Corona Centennial. We're wrapping up what was a very good season. And I don't know if I'm going to phrase this question correctly, but as I said earlier, you had the big schedule, and at one stretch you had Centennial, De La Salle on the road, Vista Murrieta, and Mater Dei. And that's not a slight to the people that came after that, but those 4 teams are 4 quality programs, obviously. In the middle of that, can you look back? I mean, what were the kids saying? I mean, as you said, it 20 years from now, you're going to go down as one of the biggest stretch runs ever. I mean, were there some moments in that stretch run where you heard some cool things from the kids, like, wow, coach, this is great? Did you love the way they competed? Is there any, again, I don't know if it's the right question, but I'm just trying to look for a nugget in that stretch.
Yeah, no, there was, from the day we announced our schedule, there was excitement. There was excitement from certainly our players, our families, our community. Again, everybody was excited, and that excitement didn't wane. The trip to De La Salle was one we'll always remember. But so from that standpoint, everybody knows when we get into Trinity League, it's a gauntlet anyway. So our non-league was probably the difference, and again, it goes back to helping our kids here experience all that they need to experience at the high school level.
Well, Coach, as I said, respect not only what you do with the X's and O's and all that. It goes beyond that. It's off the field what you do. It's always good to have a friend like you in the business here, especially in the local area where we are. We appreciate everything you do for us and all what you do for the kids and your school. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I don't know if you're going to catch a peek of the game or not, but it's going to be a darn good one, that's for sure. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Absolutely. It'll be a heck of a ball game, and I, again, appreciate you, Jeff, and loved being on with you.
You're very welcome. Going to take a break. Coming back with more. You're listening to High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass-playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors, and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossover with a K.com/football. USA Today High School Sports is America's leading platform for high school football. The Super 25 team rankings and expert American Family Insurance All-USA list have been determining the best of the best nationally and locally for more than 3 decades. Be sure to check out usatodayhss.com, the best in the game for everything high school football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by USA Today High School Sports. Check out the Super 25 at usatodayhss.com. Well, our journey here in Southern California with quarterbacks tonight goes to Mission Viejo, a young man who had an awesome game last weekend. We're going to talk about that. And also some of the great stuff he's done over his junior and senior seasons. He's from a family of quarterbacks. Dad was a quarterback at El Toro back in the day, went on to college in the pros. His uncle, 10-year veteran of the NFL, and played for Brock's grandfather, Bob Johnson, the head coach at Mission Viejo. But right now we're going to focus on Brock Johnson, the senior at Mission Viejo. They're number 24 in the latest High School Football America Top 25. Big game this weekend, taking on Vista Murrieta in the CIF-Southern Section West Valley Division Finals. And Brock's on the line to talk about not only that game, but what happened last week and what's been a real fun run for him over the last 2 years. Welcome to the show, Brock.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
And we're glad to have you here, and there's a lot to talk about. So we're going to talk about your kind of your bloodline there on the quarterback level. But let's get the fresh out of the voice. Last week, 7 touchdown passes to break Mark Sanchez, the current quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles record. He, of course, an alum of Mission Viejo. Just an outstanding game for you, nearly perfect. Tell me a little bit about that game. Did you come out feeling pretty stoked that you're going to throw 7 touchdown passes? Of course you didn't, but I just want to know how you felt and how do you feel about the game looking back on it?
Yeah, it felt great. The goal definitely wasn't to throw 7 touchdown passes, but I got to give credit to the receivers. They did a great job with yards after the catch and running great routes, and my line was giving me plenty of time all night. Just found a way to, I guess, score 7 touchdowns somehow.
It's a nice round number. Again, Mark Sanchez held the record since 2003. He had 6 in a game. We're talking to Brock Johnson tonight from Mission Viejo, the quarterback at Mission Viejo, a program in the top 25 right now. It's been a great program for a long time, and there's been a lot of great quarterbacks out there. It doesn't stop just with Mark Sanchez. Talk a little bit about the pressure of being a quarterback at Mission Viejo. Not only the pressure of being a quarterback, but the quarterback whose grandfather's the head coach and dad and uncle were pretty good in their day too, and they're your coaches. Well, how much pressure is on you to perform there at Mission Viejo?
There's definitely a ton of external pressure growing up around it. I know the legacy that my family name comes with and how good Mission's always been, especially with quarterbacks. So there's definitely a lot of external pressure, but my family does a great job of not putting any added weight or pressure on my shoulders, and I know I can just relax and play football and do what I love.
Let's talk a little bit about the bloodline. We'll start with your grandfather and the video piece that we did on you earlier this year that was on our website on USA Today High School Sports. Talked about granddad and Bob Johnson. For those of you who don't know, not only has he won a lot of games, he's also known as a guy that can create some good quarterbacks, but he's a tough guy. But in that video piece, Brock, granddad said he's just your grandfather out there. Describe the relationship you have with your granddad when it comes to on the football field.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would describe it. He's my grandfather. One time, sophomore year, he called me into his office and explained how he knew that my dad and Coach Rob, my uncle, would be hard on me, and he described them the other day as pit bulls, and he's the golden retriever. So they're a little bit more harsh and more in your face, and he's more of the pat you on your butt, everything's going to be all right, hang in there, you're doing a good job type of guy.
Let's then go to Uncle Rob, a long time in the NFL there, and your dad also played in the NFL. Tell us a little bit about that relationship. We know Dad's the tough one, but what's Rob like when it comes to coaching you?
He's just another mind out there. Sometimes him and my dad completely agree, and sometimes they completely disagree. But no matter what, he's just another voice that brings a ton of knowledge to the game and helps me a ton.
And for the listeners that don't know, Rob and Brett both played for Coach Johnson, Bob Johnson, when he was at El Toro. I've said on the show before, I actually saw your dad play when they played in Pennsylvania back in 1986 at Whitehall High School. That was kind of a crazy game. First time a California team went all the way across the country. Dad was interesting. He had some wheels, had a good arm. Tell us a little bit about the relationship with Dad and what's it like? I mean, you got the at-home stuff and you got the on-the-home field stuff. How do you guys handle that, the two of you?
Yeah, we on the field, he's my coach, and off the field, he's right back to being my dad. So we never take stuff home. We're never, coaching at home or working on stuff. Sometimes, he'll like give me pointers, or we can watch things on film, which is a bonus. But he's definitely my coach on the field and my dad off the field, and I love that.
Brock Johnson on the line tonight, the quarterback at Mission Viejo, one of the top teams in the country this year on a long win streak, back in the sectional finals out here, hoping for a shot at a state championship if they can get it done on Friday night. I don't know if you've ever seen the television show Blue Bloods on CBS, but it's about a police family, and they always have a dinner, and during that dinner, everybody sits down, and they're all police officers or lawyers, and they talk about the family business, which is being in law enforcement. So when the Johnsons sit down at Thanksgiving dinner, how much talk is there about football and quarterbacking?
There's definitely quite a lot of talk about football, and it's definitely in the prayer to pray for another win that week, and definitely competitive at all times. Everything's a competition. Who can throw this little this little piece of paper in a wastebasket, whatever. There's always competition going on.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Brock Johnson is on the line tonight, quarterback at Mission Viejo. They're in the West Valley Division Championship game against Vista Murrieta. We're going to talk about that game coming up here in just a second. But let's talk about your growth as a quarterback. Certainly, they've all had a hand in it, whether it's your grandfather, your uncle, or your dad. But from last year to this year, and I talked to a coach the other day, I won't say who he was, but he was just saying, man, Brock has come a long way. Yes, you won a championship last year, but there's a different guy out on the field there this year. He's really the guy in charge. Tell me a little bit about how you view your improvement this year, and do you feel like you're a different guy from the guy that won a championship last year?
Yeah, I do feel like I am. I feel like I'm able to be more of a leader and more of a commanding voice now that I'm a senior, definitely. And, I mean, the growth, it was rocky at the beginning of last year, starting off 0-2. And it was really the whole team bonding together to win a championship last year. And I felt like I worked hard this offseason, and I'm happy to see that some of it's paying off so far.
Yeah, it definitely is. You guys are undefeated going into the game. You got a 25-game win streak cracking along here, so it's working out. Brock Johnson on the line tonight. We're talking Mission Viejo football here in Southern California, a top program for a long time. They've cranked out a lot of good quarterbacks just last week. 7 touchdown passes for Brock, breaking Mark Sanchez's school record, and of course Mark Sanchez, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Let's discuss a little bit about. And have a little fun with this too. So you're in a big game situation. A big play call comes up. You've got 3 really great Johnson minds there. You're not bad yourself. What's that like on the sideline when you're trying to get down to it? Who has the last say on what?
I'd say my dad, Brett, probably has the last say on the specific play. On the situation though, like let's say if it was 4th down and goal, and we got to decide whether to kick a field goal or go for it. That's probably my grandpa's decision on that.
Okay, what about when you come to the line of scrimmage? How much leeway do you have on checking off and checking down and going to a different play?
Most of my leeway on checking and audibles is mostly in the run game, calling opposites and switching run plays. But I definitely have freedom in pass plays too to call what I want if I see something I like.
And you talked earlier in the show about you didn't throw 7 touchdown passes alone. Obviously, you talked about your receivers, but let's give you the opportunity here to talk about some of your teammates and what they've been able to do for you this year. And let's start up front with the guys that protect you. Let's get some names in there and tell me about what you like about them as an offensive unit.
All right, I'll start over at my left tackle, Zach Ayler. Big kid, definitely a leader. He's got a lot of interest from colleges. Couple offers right now, I think, and he's a big, nasty, great guy to protect you on the left side. One of my good long friends, Neff Halyakala, Samoan kid. I've grown up with him my whole life, and he's a great friend of mine. He plays left guard. Our center is Ricky Bowman. He had big shoes to fill this year, following 3-year starter Cole Smith, who's now at USC, and he's done a great job, and he's really played great so far in the playoffs. And then right guard Carter Hartman, who's a defensive tackle who's committed to Harvard, and he's really playing great for us this year. And then Jarrett Patterson, who's only a sophomore, but is really playing really great this year.
And the camaraderie with those guys, because, Mission Viejo is kind of a small community. You mentioned you've known them for a long time. I mean, how much does that help you guys when you're out there on the field?
It helps a ton. They're your brothers, and you have to be able to trust each other. So going out to dinners pretty much every night of the week, we're all going out to dinner together and just bonding as a team, becoming brothers, and I mean, it helps a lot on the field. Talking with
Brock Johnson tonight, the quarterback at Mission Viejo here in Southern California, and we didn't get the names in on the wide receivers, but let's get to those skill guys, and you did a great job on the offensive line. I'll let you take it away there. Who are the guys that make you look good?
We kind of go a running carousel at running back, so we have transfer Colin Schooler, who's a junior. He's really he puts his head in there, and he's a tough guy. And then Isaiah Miller, who got injured a couple weeks ago, but he was great for us all season. And then receivers, our leading receiver is Austin Osborne, who's only a sophomore, playing really well. He actually set the school record for most touchdowns in a single season at 17, I believe it is now. And then Jason Lee, senior, one of my best friends. He's one of our great receivers. Zach Taylor, another best friend, senior of mine. And then Elijah Griffin, who's a receiver. He's a defensive back as well with an offer from Colorado. So we've got a really great receiving core this year.
Brock Johnson on the line tonight, Mission Viejo's quarterback here in Southern California, and mentioned the big game coming up here. This one you need not only to win a championship, but have a chance to go. And by the way, folks, for those of you that don't know, winning a championship in the southern section of the CIF is like winning a state championship at many levels. But if you get past that one, you've got a shot at going on to up north to go play for a state championship. But let's take Vista Murrieta. You guys beat them last year in the championship game. I think this is their fifth straight, maybe their sixth straight appearance in the finals. They've played Corona Centennial in the past. Tell me a little bit about this program, what you know about them coming into tonight or Friday night's game, and what you have to do to win the game.
Yeah, Vista Murrieta, they're a great team. Played them last year. They've been in the finals plenty of years in a row now. They have one loss on the year. They played a really tough schedule and beat some really good teams in playoffs. I know they're coming off a 5 overtime victory last week, which that was just a crazy game, and we've been watching film this week and getting ready for them. They're a really good team. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Their one loss was to Orange Lutheran out of the Trinity League here, and like you said, a 62-56 thriller. I was watching that on Twitter. If you can watch something on Twitter, I'm like, what, another overtime? Pretty wild. But now you guys got to go on the road. The top seed, you're going on the road. That makes it a little bit tougher. What's it like to play a championship game in hostile territory like that?
It'll be crazy. I'm sure they'll have I know that they're bringing in at least an extra 1,000 seats to house all of our fans. I know they get big crowds out there, so it'll definitely be an intense environment, but we'll be ready for it.
Brock Johnson on the line tonight, Mission Viejo High School here in Southern California. Let's wrap up with a couple of things. One of the things that got a little bit of publicity here by the Orange County Register was you dropped off Twitter to focus on football heading into the year. Explain to our listeners what that was all about, because everybody these days wants to make their mark on Twitter. You're like, I'm going to focus on football. Why'd you do it?
Actually, I started that the year before my junior season. I dropped off Instagram, and I do the same thing. I drop off Twitter and Instagram right before the season. My Uncle Rob actually advised me to do that. He said, don't read the newspaper, don't go on social media. You're not going to gain anything from those things. You're just going to hear things that you shouldn't. So I'm just focusing on football. And I mean, I'd rather watch film at night than be on Twitter and Instagram till midnight.
It is kind of a waste of time, even though I have to do it for my business. But I applaud you for that. I think Uncle Rob had a good idea there for you. Talking to Brock Johnson tonight, Mission Viejo High School. We're going to wrap things up here with let's just talk about recruiting. As I said, your dad and your uncle have played at the next level, which is a big level up, actually 2 levels up, NFL and college football. I know you had a lot of looks from the Ivy League. How's this year's performance helping you out with maybe getting some looks elsewhere? Because I know you've got bigger dreams and goals.
Yeah, I want to play it wherever I can, biggest level possible. I know Princeton was at the game last week, and Coach Verbit from Princeton came by last night and watched our practice, and then Georgetown's coming by later this week, so I'm just looking to see wherever I can play. I want to play the biggest possible level I can.
Princeton and Georgetown, that means you're pretty good in the classroom. Talk about balancing the two. I can't even spell Princeton. I know how to drive through the town. That's about it. But tell me a little bit about the balance of being an athlete and being a true student athlete.
Yeah, my grandpa, Coach Johnson, he's always preached that growing up. I've always heard him say that to the players, that school comes first, and I've always, focused on that. Because I've seen so many kids growing up that had the skill to play at the next level, but just didn't have the grades. So I've always made sure that it was a priority to get my grades first and let the playing come second.
And we'll wrap up with the one question we asked you in the video, and you talked about it. Faith is a big thing in your life. You're not a guy that just feels like you're kind of floating around out there on the football field without some help. Tell me how faith plays into being a high school football player.
Yes, faith plays a huge role in my life. I'm a Christian, and I first started going to church before my freshman football season. On the back of my towel, actually, I have a prayer, a verse, Isaiah 40, verses 29 through 31. I read that to the team in our prayer before every game. And my faith is definitely very important to me. I heard a quote once, pray about it as much as you think about it. And I think that's definitely true, especially on a week like this where all you can do is think about the game and definitely pray about it a lot.
Makes a lot of sense. We're going to go out on a high note. That's something that everybody should listen to. Brock, we really appreciate you joining us on the show. I've appreciated getting to know you and your family over the last couple of weeks here as we did the video and that, and wish you nothing but success Friday night and hopefully maybe the rest of the way for you guys. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Brock Johnson, quarterback at Mission Viejo. Again, 7 touchdown passes in a game. That's a big number, and great young man as well, as have been all of the quarterbacks that we've talked to on the show tonight. Quentin Davis from St. John Bosco and Anthony Catalano from Corona Centennial. What a collision that will be at Angel Stadium Saturday night, 8 o'clock, and we'll be there. We'll have complete coverage of the game and post-game wrap-up. 2 of the best in the country vying for the right to, barring a big upset up north, take on De La Salle in the state championship game in the Open Division. Hey, if you just tuned in, some other big news for Corona Centennial today. We put it out around noontime Pacific time. We worked together with the Honor Group, and the Honor Bowl, which is played out here in Southern California this year, will feature many big games, but the biggest one right now, because we've announced our first matchup that I helped Mark Soto put together, is IMG Academy, coming out here from Florida, from Bradenton, Florida. They're number 7 in the High School Football America Top 25 right now. Their season is over because they do not play for a state championship in Florida. They will play Corona Centennial Labor Day weekend next year, 2016. Just a huge game, 2 great coaches, a great cause. You can learn more by going to highschoolfootballamerica.com to read the story and the news release. So just happy to be involved with that, and we're going to be making some announcements here over the next several weeks about some of the other games that are going to be played out here this year, as we're taking it from being an awesome SoCal event to something that brings in the top teams from around the country and educates our student athletes, our coaches, the teams, and the communities about the importance of our military and what they do to preserve our freedom each and every day. Want to thank all of our partners on the show tonight, beginning with USA Today High School Sports. Check out the Super 25 every Monday at noontime Eastern Time at usatodayhss.com. Echo 1612. Get instant replay on your sidelines 8 seconds after the play. 8 minutes will be a long time, by the way, but 8 seconds is what it is after the play is done. Designed by coaches for coaches. Make tomorrow's adjustments today. That's their slogan. Learn more at echo1612.com. By Crossover, get your game film broken down. You won't be sitting there all weekend long just driving yourself crazy, breaking down the game film for your upcoming opponent or your own game film for that matter. You can have Crossover do it for you. Get a free 5-minute demo by going to crossover.com/football, or you can just click on our banner ad, both for Echo and for Crossover at highschoolfootballamerica.com. And also brought to you tonight by the good folks at Southern Sport, the TDI Razor. Gives you that great look of spatting without the high cost of tape, and more importantly, it keeps those pesky rubber pellets from field turf out of your shoes. Yeah, those things are a pain in the butt. Glad that Saturday night's game will be on the real turf there at Angel Stadium for St. John Bosco and Corona Centennial. Use the code HSFA. Get a 20% discount on your order by using that code HSFA at tdirazor.com. 23 great colors, and Razor is spelled with a U. TDI Razor, RAZUR.com. And finally, by ScoreStream. Hey, if you're going out to a game this weekend, checking out, if you're out at a game, they're big games. They're either quarterfinals or, quarters, semis, or championship games. Score along. Let the nation know how your favorite team is doing by getting the ScoreStream app. Go to scorestream.com to learn more. You can get it in the iTunes Store or Google Play. At ScoreStream, and all of our scoreboards this weekend and every weekend throughout this season have been powered by ScoreStream. We break them down state by state, top 25 scoreboard, all for you. Follow along live and searchable at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Well, that's going to do it for the show. We want to thank all of our guests once again. I mentioned all the quarterbacks, but also want to thank Chuck Petersen from Orange Lutheran for coming on the show and breaking down that game that's coming up on Saturday night for the CIF-Southern Section Championship. Again, if you missed any of the show, you can listen to it in our archives at highschoolfootballamerica.com. For now, this is Jeff Fisher saying good night and good sports from Southern California. You've been listening to High School Football America.